Hi, my name is Caitlin Amarangan, and today I will be talking to you guys, and hopefully I'm informing you guys of the human papillomavirus and ways to prevent it and the dangers of the virus. How many of you have had unprotected sex? Cosmopolitan conducted a survey and found that 66% of Americans are not practicing safe sex. Cleveland Clinic has found that 80% of sexually active people are infected with HPV at some point in their lifetime. By learning more about this virus, you can reduce risks and gain knowledge of how to keep yourself safe. That's why I would like to share with you the benefits of the human papillomavirus shots, as well as the dangers of this very common virus. To begin this speech, I will tell you about what this hard to pronounce virus is and how it's spread. The CDC lists human papillomavirus as the most common sexually transmitted disease with many different types. Some strands of HPV can cause genital warts and others develop into cancer. You may not develop symptoms of this virus until years later, unknowingly spreading it. This makes it even harder to identify who gave it to you and which people are spreading it. There is also no test to find out if you have HPV unless you are a woman over 30. There are currently no HPV tests available for men. Most people with HPV never develop symptoms, but for those who do, it can lead to cancer of the cervix, anus, penis, vulva, or throat. HPV can be spread through vaginal, anal, or oral sex with a carrier, and is most commonly spread through vaginal or anal intercourse. Most people will not know they have HPV or are carrying it until they have formed cancer or warts, or when women come back with an irregular pap smear. WebMD wrote an article on HPV saying that pregnant women with the virus will develop abnormal cell changes in their cervix, and luckily HPV is rarely passed on to the child through childbirth, but sometimes it is, and when it is, the baby normally can fight it off. Cancers from HPV affect nearly 20,000 women and 12,000 men annually. Of those 20,000 women, 12,000 are diagnosed with cervical cancer, and 4,000 will end up dying from the disease. There is no treatment for the virus. Less than half of U.S. schools meet CDC's guidelines for safe sex classes regarding sex ed. 20% of people have never used protection in their life. Now that we've spoken about what HPV is and how it's spread, I will now speak on ways to prevent it. Since the virus is spread through sex, there are many ways to prevent it, such as abstinence, condoms, vaccination, and limiting the number of sexual partners you do have. The most common form of safe sex, according to Planned Parenthood, condoms, are used by 1/3 of Americans regularly and can protect against many STDs, including HPV. Another preventative method many partake in is abstinence. Abstinence is a practice of restraining oneself from something, and in this case, sex. According to the University of Texas, abstinence is usually performed for religious purposes, waiting until said person feels ready to partake in sex, wanting to find the right partner, or as a preventative method for pregnancy and STDs. The Population Reference Bureau's article, Human Papillomavirus, a Hidden Epidemic in the United States, states, according to the Kaiser Family Foundation, 70% of American adults 18 and over have never heard of HPV. Furthermore, 89% have never discussed the issue with their healthcare provider. Given this, we can assume that 70% of American adults have never even heard of the HPV vaccine. The American Cancer Society states HPV vaccination is cancer prevention. The vaccine provides close to 100% protection against infections and precancers caused by certain types of HPV. The vaccine can also help protect fertility of women by preventing cervical cancer and precancer. I personally got my 3-step HPV vaccine from Planned Parenthood for free. Another way to prevent HPV is to limit the amount of sexual partners you are having and to ask how many partners your partner has had. Monogamous relationships tend to be a good method to refrain from obtaining the virus. In conclusion, I have informed you about the human papillomavirus today, along with what it can cause and ways to prevent it. I have showed the importance of being educated on safe sex and the risks that can come along with it. Hopefully, this will encourage many to partake in safe sex and other ways to prevent the virus. Thank you for coming to my speech today, and I hope you guys have all learned a lot about the human papillomavirus.